I would like to firstly welcome you all to our first in this series of webinars. I'm Laura Thomas from the European Capital of Democracy. I'm the liaison officer there. And I would also welcome my colleague Stefan to briefly introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan Sindelar. I'm CEO of the European Capital of Democracy, non-profit organization. I'm super happy to have you all here. And I will pass back to Laura to kick off the meeting.
Yeah, so the first of our webinar series is on digital transformation and democracy in the city. This webinar is hosted by the City of Barcelona, and we have contributions from our colleagues in the City of Bologna. Just to introduce ourselves briefly, we are the European Capital of Democracy, a non-profit organization founded by the Innovation in Politics Institute, which is a Europe-wide organization dedicated to improving politics with offices in Vienna. And we also are joined by a colleague from Berlin today. And we have a network of partners in over 20 European countries and beyond. So our speakers today, we will start with a brief introduction and a presentation from Arnau Monterde. He's the director of the Democratic Innovation Department of Barcelona City Council. And he's also joined by his colleague, Tony Sanchez, also from the same department, the Democratic Innovation Department, who will be chairing the breakout room. And we will also have a presentation from Giovanni Farneti from Agenda Digitale, which is a part of the municipality of Bologna. We also have our colleague Laura Giesen joining us. She's the program manager and editor-in-chief of Democracy Technologies. She'll be moderating one of the breakout rooms, as will Stefan. And I will be here giving a brief introduction and also giving you an outlook into next year, which I think brings us onto the agenda, giving you a brief rundown of today. So after this welcome, we will have an introduction to the topic, followed by 2 best practice presentations. And then we will go into the breakout sessions, followed by a summary and feedback round, and the overview of 2024. Without further ado, I think we will go on to the presentation by Arnau Monterde.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to join this first webinar. It's a pleasure to start in the first capital of democracy from in Barcelona, and I will just give you 3 main ideas from the city to introduce the seminar, and after that I will proceed with my presentation about our experience here in Barcelona. But maybe I prefer to share my presentation. Okay, just before to start the presentation, I would like to introduce 3 main ideas, and this is why it is important to see to understand the digital transformation from a democratic perspective, and understand at the same time the challenges for democracy in the digital era. We believe, and we have been working in both topics, and we see that we have here a strong connection, especially in the 21st century. And here the main question is how we can have a general idea and a model from Europe in which how we can imagine this the digital transformation in Europe from a democratic perspective, and also the democratic transformation of Europe, understanding the how the digital technologies are developing. But I think that the 3 main ideas is the first idea is like how we can run in Europe a model based a model for digital transformation based on democratic technologies. And what does it mean? This means that when we are using, when we are thinking, but also when we are producing and developing technologies from Europe, we have to think from the digital rights perspective, and also from the perspective of the openness. This means that this is why from our side it's very important to use open technologies, and the technologies has to be and has to allow to be modified, to be studied, to be reproduced, how the open source is doing. We have a lot of challenges in terms of artificial intelligence, digital infrastructure for communication, new ways to provide the digital services in the city, and this is why we need an European leadership to to not be absorbed for other models that are today are like winning the global market of the technologies. We need a role in Europe, and we need to lead the digital transformation from the European values, and this is why it's very important to see this democratic perspective. The second question, and very important, is how we can put the citizen first in this digital transformation, and this means that we have to design the technologies according the needs of the citizens, and put the citizen first, and put also the city first, in the sense that if we have to imagine cities cities for the people, and cities with social rights, and cities for the green transition, and cities for rights, and cities for inclusion, we need to put the citizen first. This is the second idea. And the third idea is how this productive connection with digital transformation, and this idea to put the citizen first, how we can reimagine and rebuild a strong idea of democracy in Europe, how we can create strong ties between governments and citizens and civil society organizations to improve the life of citizens in our cities in Europe. I think that this is the three main ideas, and this is important because all the time the technology and the democracy are connected, and this is why we address these topics on the webinar today. And now I'm going to proceed to do my presentation. This is based on our experience in Barcelona, developing this project of Decidim, which is a platform for citizen participation. And yeah, go ahead. Just to understand the context, Decidim is a Catalan word. It means we decide. Is this idea that we can together decide the things affecting us in our organization, in our city, in our government. The idea to co-decide the most important things in our societies. But why the Decidim? Why is important this project and the platform? I think that there are like too many reasons because why Decidim, but the first one is how we can address this context of we call multiple crises. We are seeing a lot of transformations at the global level, and a lot of challenges to face at the global level to the climate crisis, the process to the looseness of trustness in politics, the emerging way to spread technologies in our life, the different civil society mobilizations, the impact of technologies in our society. we have a lot of like several layers of kind of crisis of legitimacy of our politics, and how we can imagine this change in the political level. But also our main commitment, because we have seen a lot of demonstrations, we know a lot about what does means to have a struggle in the street, and we knows a lot about how it was the representative democracy with our elected politicians, and the different ways to be part of our political systems. But our main interest is how we can build something between these two ways, that the people self-organizing and claiming for their needs and their rights, but also at the other side, the politicians creating regulations and deciding the different ways to govern the cities and the countries, and obviously the Europe. But our main interest is, we see here in the middle of that, we see a huge gap, and we see that we can build, and actually it's happening in across Europe, but how we can build here different mechanisms and dynamics to improve this relation between the representative and the citizens. And this is why Decidim was born. Decidim is a digital platform for citizen participation. It was born in 2017, and we explain Decidim with three levels. The main level is the political level, because the Decidim is a platform to allow any kind of participatory action of process, a participatory budgeting, a process of participatory regulation, a process to have a public consultation, to organize a meeting with civil society, to run a survey with the citizens. You can do a lot of things at the interaction level. The second level of the project is the platform. The platform is based on open source, and this means that everybody can see the code, can copy the code, can modify the code, and can spread the code. And this is why a lot of organizations and institutions around the world are using, because thanks to the effort of Barcelona and other public administrations and other developers have done contributing to the project, and the project has been growing during the last 7 years, and this is why we have this strong solution today. And the third part, and this is probably one of the most important parts, is the design of the platform. The platform is designed in a participatory way. The project has a strong community contributing every day in the process of the design of technology. This is not the things happening inside the platform are not just decided by the city. A process of government. This is a general overview of what is happening at the installations. 3 million of participants in 3 organizations. But at the same time, other organizations, social organizations, NGOs, federations, etc., are using, universities are using the platform to organize their own democratic governance process. How does it work, the city? I just have like 8 minutes, but I will try to go so fast. But the Decidim works as any kind of other social platform where you have your own user, your own profile, and you can have a lot of different ways to participate. One of the potential things that the Decidim has is very flexible to adapt to the needs that any organization can have. For example, if you want to run a participatory budgeting strategy, you can do it, but also if you can run a consultation about a public regulation, you can do it. Or if you want to organize your participation councils in your city, you can do it. It's adapted to all of different needs. It's very flexible, and in this sense is adapting to a lot of use cases in around the world. It works with this idea to have like participatory spaces like participatory process, participatory committees, citizens initiative, but also one of the most important thing in democracy, which is the possibility to vote in a secure way. And then you have a lot of filters that you can have. But maybe the most important ones, we have a lot of different filters, but the most important ones are the proposals, because we provide a way to collect ideas, projects, proposals. You can call it whatever you want, but it's the way to organize a proposals as a result of deliberation process. And this means that you can have a proposal, and this proposal can be discussed for the people, and you can have a deliberation process around the proposals. Every theater of proposals always is fitted into a participatory process, participatory action, and or a participatory council. And this works a lot because it allows to us to organize the citizen participation. For example, if we are having a transformation of a neighborhood, we can open a component of proposals to contribute to improvements for this neighborhood. The Decidim allows you to organize in a very good way the scope of the participatory process. And the second most important thing are the meetings, because all the time we are saying that this is digital participation, but we do a huge effort to organize the physical participation too. The Decidim allows you to have all the meetings that you are running at the city level, for example, to see where the citizen participation physically is happening. Obviously, after the COVID, we can have also meetings like this in a video meetings. But it's important this because this connection between the physical and the digital allow us to bring the ideas collected in a physical meeting to the digital platform, and then you can amplify the citizen debate, the citizen deliberation after the meeting. Because before the platform, when you had a meeting, the results of the meeting just finish there. But now, thanks to the Decidim, the results of the meeting can be introduced in a new wheel of deliberation and collective intelligence, collecting ideas and improving the proposals that we are creating in a process. Obviously, we have digital meetings. We have other features like the debates, the systems know to have participatory budgeting, a strong way to have accountability systems to, because this is another important thing in citizen participation, that we need accountability to the political commitments, and we have a system, a public system to monitor the level of execution of the accepted proposals in the platform. And we have surveys, we have blogs, we have sortitions, we have a lot of different features. This is just an overview. As I mentioned before, this works as a social network with your profile, and you can follow other people, you can message directly to the people, you can mention, you can follow content, etc., following the notification. We have a system also inside to monitorize the citizen participation. We are putting a lot of effort on data, what is happening inside the platform, to understand what is happening in the city, what is happening with the citizen contribution, what is happening to understand the dynamics of the social process. And obviously, it was with a progressive web app, and it works with the mobile, allowing to have notifications, and yes, to engage and facilitate the participation at the digital level. Just to finish, this is as I mentioned before too, this is a free software initiative following this principle of public money, public code. We believe that the investment from the public sector has to be done in public code, allowing others to reuse. And one example of this, the successful of the platform is today the platform is translated to more than 60 languages around the world. We just translated to 3 languages, and has been the international community who has translated to more than 60 languages. And also just focusing on the governance of the project. This is a picture of our community, but we have a very well established way to create new proposals, have a discussion, organize a contribution in the process, and this is why we are coordinating different institutions, developers, and researchers trying to think the future of the platform and the new developments according the needs of the city. We took a technical decision because the Decidim is a modular system, and it's very easy to contribute. And if you have a new need that the platform has not, it's very easy to create a new feature as a new module and connecting to the rest of the modules. This is just a technical aspect, but the main idea is it's very easy to contribute with a new feature without to reinvent the wheel or rethink everything. And this is very important to understand the scalability of the project. The City in Barcelona, which is our installation, we have like this general data. Sorry, more than 150,000 participants, more than almost 30,000 proposals collected during the last years, more than 30,000 comments, more than 4,000 meetings, physical meetings collected in the platform with their documentation, and 100 participatory process, 200 participatory councils, etc. And this has allowed us to run a lot of different kind of participatory process. I don't have time, but just one of the most important one is the participatory budgeting strategy with more than 30 million euros on 2021. Now we are on May on 2024 we are starting the new participatory budgeting initiative with putting 30 million euros to be distributed in the 10 districts of the city. I have an example here, but I after that I can share the presentation, but this was just a real experience. But we have participatory budgeting, but also we are in the deliberative wave, and we have run 2 citizen assemblies, one of the climate about the climate policies, and another one with young people. But also we have other initiative of the urban transformation, the roof gardens, transformation of playgrounds in the schools. This is another example of a citizen initiative to have a new health center in the city center, etc. As I mentioned, we have a lot of different experiences at the global level: the City of New York, the European Commission, universities, etc. And just to finish, our 3 or 4 main conclusions about the learnings of these years, and also about the challenges of the future. We believe, and Decidim definitely helps to do that, that we have to build permanent deliberational spaces in order to create a new culture of participation, a new culture of be part of our everyday common aspects that are affecting us. We have also to rethink the public space with the people, attending the global needs of the city. The cities are global connected, and there are a lot of common needs between cities, and this is why networks like this are so important to share, to learn, and also to work together to improve our cities at the different levels. And this is why it's important to build with the people, but also with other cities, building networks. We believe that using the success model of Decidim, we can use this model to be applied to other technologies for the city and produce it by the city. And also we believe that we have a really amazing, challenging issue, which is that how we can connect all of this wave of democracy with the data that we are collecting and the new technologies that are emerging as artificial intelligence, how we can put all of this knowledge in hands of the citizens to improve obviously the governance of the city and the society. And also we are very fans to create physical spaces for the digital and democratic innovation. This is our laboratory here in Barcelona, where we are running some different projects, and one is the Decidim, but we are running other projects related to the digital and democratic innovation. Thank you very much. I just finished 4 minutes late. Thank you to everyone.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Arnau, for that. Fascinating presentation. Everyone just hang on to your questions, because we'll have a chance to explore this topic in a little bit more depth with Arnau's colleague Tony in the breakout sessions. But before we go there, I would like to invite Giovanni to please start his presentation. Hand over to you now, Giovanni.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome from Bologna. I'm trying to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to show you some example of innovation in Bologna, some best practices. I'm Giovanni Farneti from the Digital Agenda. First, I just want to recap where Bologna is, because it's not as famous as Barcelona. It's actually the 7th city in Italy. Unfortunately, some slides are in Italian, but I will explain them. Just to introduce, Bologna is not the most important city in Italy, but it's the most important for communication. Because from Bologna, I mean, every street is passing Bologna from the north to the south of Italy. So we always exploited our importance in communication. Total population is around 400,000 inhabitants. The metropolitan area is around 1 million. And the hope of life is very high. So in general, the quality of life in Bologna is very high. It's a medieval city, so I don't know if you've ever been here. It's very famous, of course, for food, for arts, for porticos. Porticos are those arches that can protect you from the sun and from the weather. And last but not least, the region of Emilia-Romagna is very famous for the motor valley. Maybe you didn't realize the density of motor companies in our region, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, and Ducati, and so on, are all insisting in the same area. From Bologna point of view, we also have a high density of infrastructure, of innovative infrastructure. For instance, now we are hosting the European Weather Center and some other center for calculus and for innovation. But today, actually, Bologna is also being the second civic network in Europe after Amsterdam, and has always been actually devoted to innovation infrastructures. What I'm going to show you today is not only one best practice, but 3. Actually, most of them are apps. But if there is something that is connecting these 3 best practices in Bologna, is that they will exploit, and my colleague from Barcelona made a hint to artificial intelligence, but that's actually a hot topic for public administration, at least in Italy, and I guess in Europe as well, because probably you know that from next year we're going to have the AI Act at the European level. What I'm going to show you is the state of the art of 3 applications that have been already in use in Bologna and have been quite success studies in Bologna, and how artificial intelligence can actually complete and improve these 3 apps. These 3 apps have very different targets. So the first one is called 018. It's an app for teachers, parents of students to primary school, elementary school in Bologna. So the target is citizens, this kind of citizens. The second example will be the mobility management system. It's completely different cup of tea. It's made for companies and schools and other public administration. And it's meant to tackle the moving from your office and your house, or your school and your house. So moving from home to work. And it's a very interesting platform to evaluate this kind of movement and the impact on the city. The third example is called Portici App. It's an application to help restoring porticos. So the target are the restoration companies and some associations. So these are 3 different examples. They're not all involving citizens, but the last one, for instance, Portici App, can be open to citizens later. So first we are using it to fix the porticos, and then we can actually extend it to the all citizens. So I will be very quick. I promise to be in 10 minutes. So the first app is called 018. And it's a brand new app that is targeting especially parents of school students. And actually, what is innovative? That it opens a 2-way dialogue in between parents and the schools. For instance, on top of it, you have the urgent communication. So anything dealing with your school that is very urgent to communicate, like the closing of a school because of the snow, because of an earthquake, because of something happening in the city, that has to be communicated. But the main interest of this app is the communication of your dietary for your children, and the absence of your children, and the kind of diet that they will request to the school. Then last but not least, it's also a place to find all the events organized by my schools. You have a profile of your children. You can also put a photograph, of course, and it was a huge success. I'm waiting still for the number of people using it, but I can assure it was a huge success. Just opening this channel of communication between parents and schools. The second best practice is completely different. It involves companies and schools, again, in the municipal territory. So we are talking about more than 80 companies, and some are multinational companies, but all the companies that are insisting on our territory. We developed a distributed service to actually publish questionnaires to workers and to students and to teachers in order to monitor their path in between home and school, home and work. So there were many questions regarding the means of transport, the time taking you from going from home to work, the arriving time and the departing time. For instance, in this screen, you can see the spider map with all the companies. So now it's not very useful, but if you filter it for every company, you can see the main roads involved in the moving from home to work. And on the left, you can see the means of transport used, if they've been used only one means of transport, like car, or if it's a multiple transport, so also multimodal mobility is taken into account. And on the right, you can see if you do smart working, or how long does it take you to go to work. One of the most interesting part is below, where you can see on the left, all data are splitted for gender, male, female, and other. And you can see the entrance time. For instance, people usually here in Bologna go to work around 8 a.m. and leaving time from work. That is more spread, like from to someone, especially public administration, 2 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Anyway, it was a big success because it was the first time that the City of Bologna coordinated such a big query, big questionnaires, and the usage is infinite. Like we can use it for with the public transport company in order to optimize the bus service according to the leaving time and arrival time of people exactly to work, and can be used in many different ways. So the exploitation of this new means of evaluating the homework, homeschool transport can be very, very helpful in many fields. Okay, I'm going to go to the last example. The last example is another app. It's made for the restoration of porticos, and you can see that the app now is already actually using machine learning, so a kind of artificial intelligence to understand, and you can see it on top right, which kind of graffiti you have on the wall, and the color and the material. And this app is an operative app for the companies in charge of removing graffitis from the city, especially under the porticos. And it's helping them because it's giving them hints about the color, the way to remove it, and if they put special painting on it, how many times they can put a special painting on it. So it's a very effective application for this purpose, but it can be helpful also in the future to open it to the citizen in the way that they can kind of adopt their portico and defend their portico and their area from graffiti, from this kind of attacks. I would say I'm finished. I just wanted to give you this kind of bird fly on three best practices in Bologna, very different, but I prefer actually to give you now the state of the art now in Bologna for innovation. As I said in the beginning of my presentation, we are introducing some elements of artificial intelligence. For instance, for the 018 application, the application for the parents, we are setting up a virtual assistant, a chatbot, in order to help them, because this application is just the first example, but then we will introduce also payments, also subscription to the primary school can be made through the app, or any service from the school to the parents can be provided through the app. So a virtual assistant will be very helpful, and it has already been trained in order to help parents to find immediately information they're looking for. As for the mobility management system, artificial intelligence, of course, can be used to optimize the moving between school to work or from home to work. And for the Portico app, artificial intelligence is already in use in order to identify the kind of damage and the colors and giving the colors a unique code and the material and the way to solve it. So that's it. Thank you very much. I'm available for any further questions, and I hope you have a very fruitful debate afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Tony. Thank you, Giovanni, for presenting those insights from Barcelona and Bologna. It was really great to have you on our first webinar. Thanks everyone for joining and actively participating in this webinar. We will learn from it, so please be honest, please be open in your feedback. We want to improve in the next sessions. And we're always happy, as Laura has said, to receive your suggestions for topics or other changes of these events.
The European Capital of Democracy City Network with 21 member cities from 13 European countries. As many of you already know, Barcelona is the first ever European Capital of Democracy. And we have recently just announced the second European Capital of Democracy, which will be Vienna next year, starting in 2024, September 2024, and running into 2025. And this series of webinars is funded by the Network of Towns project, co-funded by the European Union. And it's where Antwerp, Barcelona, Braga, Bologna, and Cascais have come together to join forces for a series of webinars where cities both teach and learn from each other with citizens from all across Europe.